Hi, beautiful. Today we are talking about healthy versus unhealthy food. My name is Kira. I am a holistic food and wellness leader, and I healed my skin naturally using food. Before we get started, go ahead and like and subscribe. I will tell you what to comment later. And also, before we get started, you need to change your view of healthy versus unhealthy food. If you think that I am going to start listing off a list of healthy foods and a list of unhealthy foods, then this video is not for you, because eating healthy is about how you eat more than what you eat. Healthy foods support your highest good and support you living in alignment, while unhealthy food brings you down and leads you to a state of sickness, illness, and disease. I have a video about what wellness really means. I will link that in the description for you. And let's get into our healthy foods versus unhealthy foods. Firstly, food is going to be healthy if your body tolerates it. And on the other side, it's going to be unhealthy if your body does not tolerate it. A lot of people today are eating food that they are allergic to, and that food is unhealthy for you. For example, a lot of people are allergic to dairy, or they have a sensitivity when it comes to eating dairy. And any type of sensitivity just means that you're allergic to it and you do not tolerate it well. What happens is you start to break out, or you start to be inflamed and experience all these negative symptoms, and it's something in your diet that your body is not tolerating, and you're just eating it anyway and letting the symptoms just continue to fester. When it comes to eating healthy food, that means that your body tolerates it. Your body actually likes it. It's all the food that is going to be healing for your body. One way to know if you tolerate something, or if you're iffy, wondering, is this something that I can eat, is look at your ancestry. Your ancestors were likely eating the same types of foods, and your body can tolerate those things well. There is not one diet that everybody can eat and everybody can be good on. We each tolerate different things. And also, the body is so specific that if you had a negative interaction with the food when you were a child, it's going to affect how your body reacts when you eat it today, because of how intricately connected our minds are into what we eat. There's so many hormones and chemical reactions involved. So you have to pay attention to what your body likes and what you are actually allergic to. You will know that you're allergic to something if when you eat it, you get a reaction. Your body will let you know immediately. So start paying attention. It might be the next day. It might be actually right afterwards. But your body is going to tell you, hey, this thing I don't like. And it might be something that you have just been letting pass by. And it's going to take a little bit of observation from yourself to know that you're actually not tolerating this food well. Our next healthy food is going to be whole, real foods. Unhealthy foods are going to be processed foods. So, whole, real foods look like what it sounds like. It's a food, and it's whole, and it's real. It's just that one ingredient food that is healthy. Processed foods are going to be a combination, a chemical reaction of sorts, even something that is artificial and doesn't actually exist in nature, are going to be unhealthy foods. Those are things that you really should not be putting into your body. If you look at a standard candy that we have here in America, such as Skittles, and you read that is a processed food. If you read the ingredients, you will find things that you cannot just go and buy at the grocery store. They are chemically made, and also they are not whole, real foods. When we think about healthy, whole, real foods, you can think about an apple, some ground lamb, a piece of fish, some carrots, a watermelon. Those are whole, real foods. Those are what you're supposed to be eating, what your body will recognize as food. What happens when you're eating processed food, your body is like, what is this? This is not the thing that my machine runs on. Your body is a very advanced technological machine. So think about if I said, okay, I got my car here, I need some gas. And gas is oil, right? I'm gonna put some avocado oil in this car. Do you think the car is gonna run on avocado oil? Even though we can run on avocado oil, that is not how the car can run, because it's not a real food to the car. Same thing with our bodies. We need real foods for us. So any of those processed foods that you love so dearly, it can be a packaged donut, it can be a packaged sauce that has crazy ingredients in it. Those are not whole real foods. Even things like honey, maple syrup are whole real foods. That's what we need to be putting into our bodies. Those are what healthy foods are. So some healing work for you when it comes to whole foods versus processed foods that are unhealthy is to start reading every single ingredient label of what you eat. And yes, it's that serious. Read every single ingredient label. This is going to get you familiar with the types of things that are in the foods that we are sold. You might be wondering, I see a lot of xanthan gum, I see a lot of gellan gum, I see a lot of natural flavors in foods. What are those things? You can now go and research. You don't have to do everything at once, but maybe you're shopping around, you see some cookies that you like, and it says that they have natural flavors. So today you're going to go ahead and look up what are natural flavors. Then you can decide, is that something that you feel is healthy? Is that something that you think is going to work for your highest good and put you in alignment with your healthiest and most thriving self? These are the types of intentional questions and ways of eating, just how you eat, that come into play and practice when we learn how to eat healthy versus, okay, I'm going to be strict and this is what's healthy versus this is what's not. It's not about that. It's about reshaping your entire mindset around what healthy food is, because honestly, the food industry, the way that we have been brought up, even the way that we've been eating in our families growing up, has distorted what food really is for us. And that's why most people are experiencing some type of illness in some type of way. That's why a lot of people are just sick. A lot of people are dying. A lot of people are experiencing pain because we need to reconfigure how we eat. So now look at every ingredient on the label. I don't care if it says on the front of the juice bottle 100% juice. Look at the back. Does it say 100% juice from concentrate? That's going to mean something different. That's a new thing for you to look up. So get familiar with what you're actually putting into your body. Is it a whole real food or is it processed? The next way you're going to know if you are eating healthy food is if it solves a problem for you. It's going to be unhealthy if you're over consuming. So a food that can solve a problem for you, for example, for me, right? The other day, I really, truly wanted a little sweet treat, okay? And some ice cream solved the problem for me. Now, it turns unhealthy when I'm over consuming that ice cream. And I just want to give a disclaimer. The ice cream that I eat today is plant-based. It's made with coconut cream or some type of plant-based thing. And I eat the Fronin brand. You can look that up. They have very clean ingredients, no processed sugars, either sweetened with honey or coconut sugar. So that is how I decide to eat ice cream, because I trust those ingredients. Back to our last point about eating healthy. But if I overconsume that ice cream and I'm eating a bunch of sugar, and coconut cream is very fattening, or it has a lot of fat. Fat is good for us, but an overconsumption of it becomes unhealthy. Now you can apply this to you. I know a lot of people out there who are into fitness or who aren't really into holistic living and all these looking at ingredients, or how people call almond people today. They might have a Sour Patch Kid in moderation, and that might be solving a specific problem for them in the moment, right? So the specific problem they might have is that they could be nervous and they need something to chew on, right? So they get the Sour Patch Kid or a bag of chips. That's the only time that they're really gonna do it, and it's not something that they're doing often. It's in moderation, and they're not over consuming it. So look at what you are eating, right? Once we get to know our ingredients better and we can say, yeah, I don't need to be eating this, but maybe there's some instances where it can solve a problem for you. Maybe you're eating sad and you need some, maybe you're feeling sad and you need some ice cream. But are you eating that ice cream every day? Are you eating it even multiple times a week or most of the week, eating something very sweet? That's when it becomes unhealthy. We have to realize that we as humans, we eat emotionally. Sometimes food is the medicine when we are eating emotionally. I have a video on emotional eating that I will link below in the description. I think I have about 2 videos if you struggle with emotional eating. One of them is called Emotional Eating Can Make You Rich, and another one is a live video I did about how to basically alchemize negative emotions into something positive. So when our food solves a problem for us, cool. But if it's the same problem over and over again, the problem is not getting solved, right? It's something deeper that we need to take a look at. And that is how we can decipher if something that we're eating is healthy for us in the moment, or if we're over consuming and we need to look a little bit deeper. The next type of healthy food is food that is eaten with love. Now, unhealthy food is eaten while stressed. There is an experiment and it's called the rabbit effect, right? So there's 2 groups of rabbits. They are both fed heart unhealthy diets. So very crazy diets that are going to be bad for their heart. In this group over here, the researchers fed them this unhealthy heart diet, and they also petted them and talked to them while they were feeding them. And this group over here, the researchers were feeding these rabbits the unhealthy heart diet, but they weren't doing anything. They were just feeding them and letting them feel the effects of the food. This group over here that was loved and petted on while feeding the unhealthy food actually did not have any sort of bad negative effects from the food. Whereas this group over here had lots of negative effects. And it shows that emotions, how we feel when we're eating, can negatively or positively impact our health. So when you're eating food with love, it's gonna feel so good. When you're eating food with family, like maybe even think about Thanksgiving. There might be lots of foods at Thanksgiving that some people would not consider healthy. This is why I mentioned earlier, it's how we eat and not what we eat, right? You might be having the ham, the stuffing, the mac and cheese, the collard greens with the turkey neck, all of that at Thanksgiving, where if it wasn't Thanksgiving and you were eating that, it might have a negative effect on your body. But at Thanksgiving, there's love around. We're with our family. We got the auntie and grandma in the kitchen cooking up some really good food. We're praying before we eat, and it's just a nice, lovely family affair. And so we feel good after we eat. It actually has no negative effect on our body. Let's consider the same type of food, right? Thanksgiving type of food that might not be the healthiest type of food, or that could be like a unhealthy heart food diet, right? So you have that food in the fridge, you get off of work and you're really stressed out. You heat it up in the microwave and you eat it. Now that food is going to have a negative effect on your body because you were stressed out when you're eating it. You weren't experiencing love. But maybe you could change that situation around, right? You can call down your children or your wife or your husband and say, let's eat together at this table. I had a bad day at work. Can I talk to y'all about it? Can we discuss this? Can y'all alleviate some of my stress for me? Or you don't even have to say that, but just opening yourself up to love while eating food actually can heal you. And that is what the rabbit effect taught us. So go ahead and research the rabbit effect if you have not heard of it, and start to create a practice, right? So for this section of healthy food, we're going to create a practice of love before we eat. It can be something as simple as a repeated prayer that you have. My prayer before I eat is, Heavenly Father, thank you for this food. I pray that it nourishes our bodies, heals our bodies, provides us with proteins, vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, and fills us with love and life and light. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray and I thank you. Amen. Takes me 10 seconds to say it before I eat every time at dinner, right? So that's already a practice of love. That is love right there. You could just express gratitude. Thank you so much for this food. You can think of something that makes you happy. You can do a little dance before you eat to get you in the mood for food. Something that's gonna bring the experience of love into your eating practice versus you're mad, you're upset, because sometimes, you know, the food don't come on time, right? It took too long to come and you were really hungry and you're gonna start eating because you're really hungry, but you're mad. That's not gonna be healthy for you. Take a moment, pause, reflect, restart, recalibrate, and you'll be good, okay? Our next section is really important, and it goes back to our second to last point, right? So healthy food are things that you can get away with eating in moderation. It's going to be unhealthy for you if you are sick, and you eating that is only going to make you more sick. So if you are somebody that is in a situation where you might have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or heart disease or something like that, there might be certain things that you can eat in moderation. There are other things that you cannot eat in moderation because you are sick. People don't realize that. When you're sick, you really have to nurture your body back to health. Okay? So you have to ask yourself this question: am I genuinely physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally in a position where I can have a certain type of food in moderation and I'm good, I'm gonna be okay? Or am I sick and I don't need to be eating anything that's not going to heal me? I mentioned earlier how I cleared my skin naturally while eating food because of the way that I ate. And when it came to that, I took that as a very serious illness, right? Because I hated looking at my face and there was acne on it. That became normalized in society. However, that is an illness. Cystic acne is an illness. It is something that we need to address. It is your body crying for help so bad that it's going straight on your face, right? Like, think about that spiritually. We're in a crisis. So I took it very seriously. And during this time, I was not eating certain things. One of those things that I cut out was corn. And to this day, I really don't eat corn because I like my skin. So I know it's like, corn, well, yes, corn is not very digestible for many of us, most of us, because the corn is not good for us anymore. Like, there might be some good corn out there. If there is, I'd be happy to try it one day, but the corn that I've eaten is not very digestible. Excuse me. And so back then, right, it was not healthy for me to eat that corn because I was sick and I did not want to eat anything that was not going to help me heal. Today, I can get away with eating corn in moderation, right? I can eat a little corn here and there and I'm gonna be good. You have to really make that decision for yourself. Remember, healing foods bring us into alignment, while unhealthy foods are going to make us sick. So for this question, go ahead and think about where you are right now. Is there something that needs to be healed? And does that thing require you to be eating things in moderation or cutting things out fully? If it requires cutting things out, make a list and stick to that list until you are healed. Then you can go ahead and moderately eat those things. Now, I'm actually gonna give you some foods, right? Probably what you've been thinking about. Where are the foods, right? Healthy versus unhealthy foods. But I wanted to really hit the point home that it's about how you eat and not exactly what. But now let's get into the what. So healthy foods, the what, are going to be fruits and herbs, while unhealthy foods are going to be lots of sugar, white sugar, processed sugar, dairy for many of us, and meat in excess. Okay, so let's get into the fruits and the herbs. Look at the Bible, right? So if we look at biblically, fruits and herbs and a couple of the things are very good for us. Fruits and herbs, though, those were the humans' first foods, right? People can survive and live a very long time just on fruits and herbs. When it comes to sugar, that causes inflammation. Dairy causes inflammation. Processed foods always, they're gonna cause some type of inflammation. And meat causes inflammation in the body. Certain people can eat those things and be okay. Dairy, for example, if you look at your ancestry and your ancestors were herding cattle, meaning that hundreds of years ago they had cows and they were milking them and making cheese and drinking milk and butter, then it's in your DNA, right? You can eat some dairy and it's probably going to actually be healthy for you because that's your ancestry. For many other people, that's not the case and it's inflammatory. Meat produces a lot of acid in the body. Certain people have high levels of fitness where they can eat meat and it's not going to affect their body. A lot of people do not have those high levels of fitness, and also along with those high levels of fitness, you're going to need to live a certain quality of life and also be having a certain level of control in the other areas of your life. So you're not in a bad relationship or you have a good job and things like that. Those all can contribute to your health and how food affects your body. But fruits and herbs, you can eat any fruit unless your sugar is like to the top level of high, you got too much sugar in your blood. I think even then, fruits are going to help you because fruits have so many vitamins, minerals, and healing properties. The same things where herbs are here to heal disease. They can heal your kidney, your liver, your brain, your heart, your pancreas, your lungs. They are here to heal our organs, to reconstruct our bodies and help build us and make us stronger. So fruits and herbs going to be very healthy foods, especially juicy fruits. Non-juicy fruits are like bananas, olives, avocados, which are still very healthy fruits, but those juicy fruits like oranges, apples, grapes, strawberries, any berries, those are going to be so good and healing for our bodies. So for this one, make sure that you are including those healthy fruits and herbs in your diet as much as possible. And break your fast with fruits and herbs every single day, right? Drink lemon water when you wake up. Eat some fruit as the first thing that you eat. And I talk about this in a video that I will link in the description. It talks about how to start your day, how to beat chronic burnout and stress at breakfast. Lastly, healthy food is going to support your current stage of life. Unhealthy food is going to cause you to fail. Your current stage of life will actually dictate a lot about what you eat. If you're preparing for the Olympics, you're going to be having a very different diet than you were if you were just going to do your regular work every single day. The way that you move in life, maybe you're in a season where you're starting a podcast and you really need your brain to be on point. So you're eating a lot more mushrooms, you're eating a lot more probiotics because the brain and gut health connection. You're eating a lot of fruits because you know that's going to give you the energy and make your ATP popping. If it is supporting you in your stage of life, that is healthy food. If it's going to cause you to fail, that is unhealthy food. If you have an exam to study for and you are eating late at 10 o'clock at night a brownie and ice cream, and it's going to make it super hard for you to wake up, it's going to make your brain foggy, that's causing you to fail. That's unhealthy. But if you just won your Olympic gold medal and you're celebrating with friends and family, that brownie and ice cream is probably going to make you feel really good and you deserve it. So a lot of how you eat is about observing yourself, where you are, knowing what you need, getting to know your body. If this is something that you struggle with, I do offer one-on-one consultations. I will put the link in the description for you to sign up if you would like to have a session with me. Last week, we talked about how to heal your inner child through food, quantum nutrition, super juicy video if you want to go ahead and watch that. I hope that you enjoyed this. Go ahead and comment how you are going to start eating with love. What is that one thing that you're going to do before you eat or while you eat to make sure that you're eating with love? I will see you in the next one. Stay golden.